Good day, and welcome to episode 5 of the Abstract Barcode podcast. I am your host, Christopher, where each and every weekday I bring you the news that you may not be aware of, while commenting and criticizing on it to the best and worst of my ability. So, what I actually want to talk about today is the whole Colin Moriarty fiasco that is going on right now, or I should say happened back about a week ago on International Women's Day. Now, it all started with one tweet with 4 words. Peace and quiet. Hashtag a day without a woman. Now, anyone who would see this, it's a joke. I see it as a joke. I personally see it as a joke. I mean, you break it down. Oh, okay, women talk too much. That's what it's joking about. Now, Colin is in a relationship with a woman, and they have a dog, so they are technically a family together. Okay, they are not married yet, but they are together, and they are very much in love, and he appreciates her very much. Now, again, this is a joke. That's a good forward statement. This is a joke. Peace and quiet. So, and it's a tweet. You can take anything out of context that's not spoken. I understand that. But look at it for what it is, a joke. It was retweeted, as of right now, recording this, 2,075 times, and it's been liked 9,250 times. And it just blew up from there. Yes, International Women's Day is a day to appreciate women for everything they do. I understand that. But take a joke for what it is. Were you physically harmed by this? No? Were your feelings hurt by this? So what? So what? Colin is was part of a group called Kinda Funny. 4 guys who broke off of IGN, who quit their jobs there, to start their own company. Greg Miller, Tim Geddes, etc. Nick Scarpino, and Kevin, who they brought in later. But the 4 people, Nick, Kevin, Tim, Greg, started Kinda Funny together. Now, Colin has always been the counterbalance in the group, I think. He is more political. He has different views from the rest of the group, but that's what makes the company and all the shows work well together. He has opposing views, they have opposing views, and yet they can agree to disagree. That's awesome. That's great. Makes for good shows, makes for good entertainment, and it gets your mind working. And it makes you think. Now, so first off, you had the tweet. And then a former coworker, I believe, let me double check this real quick, named Justin Davis, yes, who works at IGN, tweeted at him, and his Twitter handle is, Colin Moriarty's Twitter handle is @NoTaxation, and then he has the Do Not Tread on Me flag as his pick. So, just by seeing that, you can see he's very political. Now, I don't care what political side you're on, just he's political. Now, Justin Davis, who is a former co-worker of his, who is still currently at IGN, tweeted at him saying, "Is this really the person you want to be?" And again, it's a joke. I don't think he was harping on women. He was just making a funny joke. Hey, I can get some quiet time now because with all the women who are protesting or whatever, it makes us realize that we need women. But at the same time, I don't think it matters what sex you are. We need everyone. Okay? So, and then Justin Davis, I should say, got responded to by Erin, who I believe is his girlfriend, Colin's girlfriend. And he said, it's taking a while to load. I don't know why. Why are you not loading? Okay. So anyway, she retweeted or responded to Justin Davis saying, "Why do you continue to tweet at Colin?" Justin Davis then proceeds to say, "I unfollowed him today finally. Probably should have long ago. Disappointed to see someone with smarts be a low road troll." Now, with that said, this was the straw that broke the camel's back for him. And he's saying he should have a long time ago? Why didn't you? And then Aaron responded, "From my perspective, you have trolled him multiple times." Justin then responds, why is this not loading? Here we go. Yes, Erin is Colin's girlfriend. Yes. Okay. So, with that being said, Erin proceeds to respond to Justin Davis saying, "From my perspective, you have trolled him multiple times." Justin Davis then responds, "I'm sorry you feel that way. That's not how I see it. I remember you being angry at me once before I knew you were dating." Okay, so let's break that down. That's not how I see it. So he sees things the way he wants to see them. That's how everyone sees them. So instead of blowing something out of proportion, step back a second. Realize that it might have different context from what you see, and just let it go. She responded, "I am not angry. I just find it strange that you only tweet at him to stir up drama. It's quite transparent." Justin responded, "You're right. Sorry for presuming you were angry, and in no way was Colin trying to troll or stir up drama either, surely." That sounds like sarcasm. And then someone else responded. I don't know who this person is. Mark C. Klein. Okay, yeah, I have no idea who this is. He's got the default picture of the egg. He responded to Justin, Aaron, and Colin saying, "It was a joke. The fact that you can't laugh at it is why there's drama." People seem to want to hate on anything and everything they can nowadays. Jerry Seinfeld will not do college campuses anymore, will not perform there because everything's too political. Everyone gets offended. In life, you're going to get offended. no matter who you are. There are no safe spaces. If you want a safe space, go to the middle of the woods. Don't take any phones. Don't take any electronics. And you're not even safe out there. Something could come out there and eat you. Nowhere is safe in this world. Aaron proceeds to say, oh, Star Trek joke. Aaron proceeds to say to Colin, at least you're wearing a red shirt. Colin Moriarty tweeted responded to that saying, it's just a coincidence, or is it? Now, red shirt in Star Trek is someone who basically always dies. It's a death sentence, basically. Let's see. Tim Geddes, who's also part of Kinda Funny, responded to some of the tweets, I guess, or some of the replies saying, these are absolutely not the fans I want. Out of context, I have no idea what that means, because there is a giant hole to go down to research that. Oh. And then Aaron responded to Tim, I hope you never go to a comedy show, because if this offends you, you might have a stroke. Dang, shots fired. So, from the sounds of this, it sounds like something else has been going on. Now, in the shows, or in, I guess, the farewell episode of the morning show they explained that Colin and the rest of the group have been drifting away for a while now, and Colin is wanting to do one thing, and the rest of the group is wanting to do other things, and it's just they're slowly not falling apart, but slowly drifting apart, because Colin is more political and has more political opinions than the rest of the group. So, but it's odd to see Erin, Colin's girlfriend, say that to Tim. So it sounds like there's a lot of animosity between everyone right now. Another IGN employee, Brian Altano, excuse me, I do apologize for that, who worked with Colin, Greg, Tim, and Nick, replied to Colin saying, the irony of this tweet is that not only do you work with no women, you work with some of the loudest men on Earth. Well, that might be true about the loudest men on Earth part, but they actually hired a woman not too long ago as their community manager named Joey Noel. And they've had her on the show, and they've talked about her on the show, and apparently she does a very good job from what they have said. So, oh, here we go. So, in response to that tweet by Brian Altano, Joey Noel responded to him saying, offended that you forgot about me, all in caps. And then in parentheses below that, JK, JK, for all the people that think I'm actually offended. See? And you shouldn't have to say something's a joke. But Michael McAnuff? I don't know who that is. Okay. I've never heard of this guy, Michael McAnuff. he replied to Joey and Brian and Colin saying, I think it's a compliment that they think of you as one of the guys. You're doing a great job, see? Joey responded, thank you, but I'm not looking to be one of the guys. I can be a good team fit and maintain my identity and different perspective as a woman. He proceeds to say, fair enough. Sorry if I offended you. Not my intention. I think you have already brought a breath of fresh air to Kind of Funny as a woman. She says, no offense taken, and thank you. So, see, there is a good, healthy conversation right there. That is a good example. But for Brian to just come out and say, you don't work with any women, yes, they do. Let's see what else. Other tweets saying, it's a real shame to see people get triggered by a joke. Fun, please. And someone responded to that. I don't find belittling women on one of the few days when we can praise women's empowerment funny at all. Grow up. Why don't we praise women, men, everyone, every day? Why do we need a special day for anything? For anyone? Just have a everyone's got a birthday. Celebrate that. Celebrate that they are who they are. But you don't need a special day out of the year. And then Greg Miller tweeted, this is a giant paragraph. Hey, with so many of you asking me about Colin's tweet, I wanted to talk to him in person before I said anything here. If you know me, you know I hate feeding into internet drama, but with this involving a friend/partner/business, it's a bit different. I fall into the camp that believes the tweet was in poor taste. Colin and I have spoken about that at length. I'm personally sorry to the best friends who felt slighted on a day meant to celebrate. Was Colin's tweet a joke? Sure, but that doesn't make it okay. Context is important. Okay, yeah, it's a joke. So keep it in that context that it's a joke. On podcast, I've joked about hypothetical abortions, Kevin's German grandpa, and so on. There. Said with a laugh and Nick being Nick, everyone's in on it. On Twitter, as I've learned so many times, there's no tone or contextual clues. The number of times I've said something only to see it interpreted a different way is innumerable. So a lot. That happened here. Why not just say a lot? That happened here. I wish it hadn't. We're talking about it as a group. This is really tiny text. Why is this really tiny text? In deference to the rest of the company's founders, and frankly against my own wishes, Colin isn't going to PAX East anymore, which was this past weekend, the weekend after International Women's Day. He wants our fans to enjoy our panel without any distractions. While I don't agree with this choice, I respect it. Colin's a well-spoken dude with great ideas, and he's also considerably said and done controversial things for the decade I've known him. We don't always or even often agree with him, but that's who he is, and he understands more than anyone that his words can and do have consequences. I hope they'll think more about them. I hope he'll think more about them in the future. When we broke away to do Kind of Funny, we wanted to build a community that celebrates the good and strives to be better than the internet commenter. We didn't accomplish that today, and we'll do better tomorrow. It just sounds like a general PR statement saying, hey, he said this, we're talking about it. Yeah. Someone responded to that saying, I'm disappointed that you felt the need to post this. Seems to escalate the situation in an unnecessary way. Someone else said, they should have had his back. Another tweet says, agreed, the statement threw us Colin under the bus for no reason. You give these people an inch and they will take a mile. It's comedy, plain and simple. I mean, when like Craig Ferguson makes a joke or whatever, and you hear oohs and ahs in the audience, he has to say on stage, it was a joke. And then everyone laughs with him. I mean, come on. So what if you're offended by something? It was a joke. Laugh. If you don't laugh, oh well. You probably don't know who he is. Now you do because it's blown up. Another comment says, holy hyperbole, no one's ruining anyone's life. Colin wanted a reaction and he got one. Another person said, what's your end goal by the time this is all over? You all crucify and then leave. Exactly. So it's like no one would have known this. But someone grabbed it, took it out of proportion. This kind of sums it up. Too long, didn't read. Get over it. It's a joke. It was funny. Women can defend themselves. And then someone responded with the Jeff Goldblum GIF meme. Well, there it is. Yes, I think that sums it up. But it gets better. It gets much better. Colin put on his Facebook page, I just wanted to let you all know that I've seen and continue to see the ridiculous outpouring of support you've been shooting towards me. Thousands of you have reached out and or said kind words, whether it's on Twitter or Facebook or Reddit or YouTube or email. I received more text and DMs yesterday than I probably received in the previous 6 months combined. I couldn't possibly answer everything even if I tried, but I'm reading as much as I can. And I appreciate all the good vibes so many of you are sending my way. I had no idea I touched so many lives to this extent, and it makes me feel good to have had such a positive effect on so many of you. For what it's worth, so many of you have had an equally positive effect on me. The point? I hear you guys and gals loud and clear, and I tip my hat in your direction. The future looks awfully bright. It's amazing how many hands have been offered to me and how many doors are creaking their way open. It's astounding how many good folks are out there willing to help, and to those people, you know who you are, and I appreciate you more than you know. Change is hard, and the unknown is scary, and these heroes have worked to make it just a little easier. My family in particular has been nothing short of stellar. My mom and dad, my sisters and brother, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, cousins, my best friends, Ramon and Mike, and so many others from both past and present. I've never seen a squad so quickly form a phalanx in front of someone they love, led steadfastly by my amazing girlfriend, Erin, who has been by my side every millisecond. The absolute love of my life and the rock I can count on, not crumbling. My family is as real as it gets, and that much is for sure. Let me thank all of you again for the kindness. Not only does it not go unnoticed, and it's the fuel that's keeping me going until you and I finally talk about what's next. More soon, Colin. And he says I'm not wearing a hat. So, that was his statement. Then, the plot thickens. So, they go to PAX East. So, here's the timeline. International Women's Day was March 8th, I think, which is, it was a Wednesday. And then the following, or the upcoming weekend, a couple days later, was PAX East. Colin did not attend PAX East with the rest of Kinda Funny. And so it kind of blew up while I would say PAX East was happening. Because I found this out about Monday. And I thought it was a joke. I had no idea what was going on. When I say joke, I mean him leaving. Because again, context. They made a joke a week or two earlier saying, or Greg saying that Jeff Keighley was joining Kinda Funny because there was a press badge error. And it said Jeff Keighley was part of Kinda Funny. And that blew up on Twitter. And Greg had to clarify on the Kinda Funny show, morning show, I believe, that the press badge was an error. And that was that. Now, you put Colin Moriarty leaving Kinda Funny, or resigns from Kinda Funny, on as a headline on one of their shows. I thought it was a joke, just knowing how they are. And yeah, then I started digging in and researching. But it gets better. Apparently, IB Times on Twitter, I guess International Business Times, was part of the reason this blew up. Colin tweeted, "Did you know that a dad joke about women is racist? Got some brain surgeons over at IB Times." So what happened was International Business Times wrote an article by Mike Luces, whatever, stating, "Kinda Funny is Colin Moriarty resigns after targeting women in joke and says it's his personal decision." Now, that's not the original headline. The original headline stated it was a racist joke. A joke about women is not racist. I'm going to look something up real quick. Yeah. Literal definition of racist doesn't say anything about women. But, but anyways, and then it says, correction, the previous headline and version of the story inaccurately described a joke tweet. A joke tweet! Right there, it's a joke! By Colin Moriarty as racist. It was not racist. The article has been changed to reflect this. And it just goes on to say that basically he severed ties with Kinda Funny, and they all came to a decision, and that on Kinda Funny they were saying that this joke is not the reason he is leaving, but the fact that you have to say that it's happening at the same time, just further fuels the fire that this is the reason he is leaving. And then it gets even better, saying that during the Kinda Funny morning show where they announced this, he briefly makes a couple appearances and states that he doesn't get to keep his shares of the company, and that he was the second most powerful member of the company. So with that, why would you found a company and then when you leave not keep your shares? With that said, it seems like he was forced out, and there was some definite tension there. And it just sounds like a giant witch hunt. So Let's see what else there is. I mean, after his tweet, he tweeted like a couple minutes later after that same tweet, she's actually in bed next to me and thinks my blatantly obvious joke is funny because not all people are humorless. So, there you go. It's just people got angry to be angry. One comment on this article says, well, that sucks. I liked his dynamic chemistry with Greg. He was already doing his own thing with the Colin Was Right series. And his presence on their shows had shrunk due to the time and effort he was putting into that series. I wonder if they're going to try and bring in someone else. And they might. And they've already talked about it. So yeah, it's just, it seems there's a lot more to this that we will never know. And then it got blown up even more because Joe Rogan on his podcast brought it up, and Joe Rogan reached out to him, and he's going to have him on his podcast. So hopefully that does shed some light. I hope he doesn't burn bridges, but I think it would be interesting to know a little more about what hasn't been said. But yeah, it's just a giant witch hunt, is all it is. Plain and simple. And then, if you go to their actual YouTube page, and go to Kind of Funny or Kind of Funny Games, they, on their videos, are getting so many dislikes now. On every current video. Just because of backlash from this whole thing. Because it's like, okay, do you toss him out because he said this and he's wanting to move in a different direction? Or do you keep him and alienate some people who did not like the tweet and are going to leave? You're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So, say you keep them, you might lose a couple people. Okay. You know, if no one had heard of this, no one had heard of Kind of Funny, and then you see this tweet, it's like, oh, well, I don't like that. Let me see who they are. Okay, well, you were never going to follow them in the first place. Now, say you do know who they are, and you saw the tweet and you don't like it. Okay. They've said worse stuff on their shows before. Way worse. And then you got the flip side of him leaving. So, say he leaves. Wait, where was I going with this? Oh, okay. So you say he leaves. Okay, like he did. Are you mad he left and think he should have stayed? Or are you mad at the guys for making him leave? Or just mad at the company in general? It seems like the backlash on the videos now seems to be that everyone wanted him to stay. And that's my interpretation of it anyways, is that everyone wanted him to stay, and they're taking the backlash out on all their YouTube videos to hurt the company, to show their disappointment in it. But as the company, do you keep him and take the wrath and keep your audience and lose a couple people? Or do you get rid of him to be politically correct? And then you have everyone hate you for doing what a business would do. I mean, it's, again, damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're screwed either way. It was a joke. That's all it was. I don't know what else to say to that. I mean, I think it's cut and dry. You don't have to be angry at everything. You don't have to be angry at someone else because they're angry. And so on and so forth. So I'm just going to end that. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. So hopefully we'll know more once he goes on Joe Rogan's podcast. Because he went on Glenn Beck's podcast. He went on the Rubin Report. But those happened before all this went down. So with him going on Joe Rogan's podcast, hopefully he explains what all exactly happened. Why this happened, how this happened, break it down piece by piece. Is he still friends with people? Is he still friends with people at IGN? I really hope they bring up everything, because this is just fascinating, to say the least. So, I don't know what else to say on that. So, good night and good luck.